so they like the heads-up display, they like the fuel efficiency, they like the speed, the additional speed, the cargo capacity. They really enjoy the reliability of the aircraft. So we'll continue to work there. Korean industry, small, medium-sized enterprise, that's important to the LTAP program, working with DAPA, and wherever we can meet those objectives, we'll be seeking them.
한국 대형 수송기 2차 사업 관련해서 좀 여쭙고 싶은데요. 한국은 현재 대형 수송기 2차 사업을 진행 중인데 C-130J에 대한 한국의 분위기는 어떤지 아시는 바 있으면 말씀 부탁드립니다.
Well, I don't want to speak for DAPA or the ROCAP, but the feedback we're hearing is, the C-130 is performing its missions, very reliable and capable aircraft. The C-130J it's like Superman. It flies higher, flies faster, and it's more reliable than older aircraft. It goes without saying. And so they like the heads-up display. They like the fuel efficiency. They like the speed, the additional speed, the cargo capacity. They really enjoy the reliability of the aircraft. Not to say the C-130H isn't performing well, just that the C-130J is a newer aircraft and newer version, and certainly going to have the benefits of that. This acquisition, we put together a very robust professional team from Lockheed. We're leveraging people with experience in Korea, and I like to think that DAPA considers the C-130 as the aircraft of choice, but they have to go through their process of selection, and I respect that. So we've already presented our proposal, and they have it. And I look forward to starting negotiations very soon, coming to a contract sometime next year. It's one step at a time. We're happy to be part of it.
한국이 C-130J를 선택한다면 어떤 이점이 있을까요?
Yeah, very good question. So first of all, the C-130J, for those that really understand the aircraft, it's more than just a cargo aircraft. It does more than just haul troops and supplies. The aircraft is very adaptable. It can do many different missions, and I assume has provided 18 different missions from personnel recovery, humanitarian aid, things I talked about earlier, electronic surveillance, just many capabilities. And then the performance factor on the aircraft. It is the most proven workhorse in the world for airlift operations. And the propulsion system, the fuel efficiency, the C-130J is more fuel efficient than the older aircraft, the C-130, the C-130H, the speed, and just all those capabilities it has. One of the benefit, besides those benefits, there's a cost avoidance. So as you know, Korea has C-130Hs and C-130Js. And so by purchasing additional C-130Js, they don't need as many parts and supplies because they've already procured many parts and supplies for the current C-130Js. They don't need to build hangars that fit the C-130J because those are already built. The maintenance personnel, the pilots, the loadmasters, they know how to fly the aircraft. So that transition to these newer aircraft is very easy for them. The air traffic controllers who control the aircraft when it's flying, they understand the speed and the turn radius of the aircraft. So it really is a seamless integration of these additional C-130Js into the ROCAF fleet. That is a huge benefit that they'll have. Just as the C-130Hs mature in the future, additional C-130Js is just, it's a very easy transition for them.
C-130에서 가장 주목할 점은 70년간 계속해서 신규 모델을 개발하고 있다는 것인데 그 이유가 무엇인지 궁금한데요.
I would say that the reason why the C-130 is still producing today is, the best aircraft to replace the C-130 is another C-130. The C-130 just makes sense. for that medium tactical airlift capability that nations need. It's designed and developed to fit a particular mission, and that mission has continued for the last 60 years. So it's just a wonderful aircraft that meets the mission requirements, not only of the past, but of the current and future. And we have continued to modernize, adapt the aircraft to many different missions. I think when it was first designed, back in the 50s, late 50s, and they probably thought of it just as a cargo aircraft. But as you know, and your audience will know, the aircraft does so much more, as we talked about earlier, from military to humanitarian, weather reconnaissance to electronic to a gunship capability to airdrop and short field landings and takeoff and all those different missions that the aircraft's capable of doing. So it's adapted to the environment, but the core capability of the aircraft has remained steady because it is the aircraft that best fits the missions of nations. I've personally seen the aircraft fly missions in other countries. I'll give you an example of a 60-day deployment with 6 C-130Js, and they had 100% mission capability rate. So Lockheed has looked at that operation and others similar to it. It has looked at the 2.5 million flying hours of the C-130J. We've done data analytics on the aircraft to determine how can we continue to improve and make better the C-130 through research and development, and as I said earlier, the data analytics based on the performance of the aircraft across all these different nations. We've delivered over 500 aircraft. So we're not a test aircraft, we're a proven aircraft. We're not making up or trying to put together in a computer or some software program. We have real data from over 500 aircraft and 2.5 million flying hours just on the C-130J to continue to refine and improve on really a tremendously capable aircraft. 22 different nations, and I'm talking to another 20 nations that are interested in the aircraft. The philosophy is to continue to refine and develop, to reduce cost where we can reduce costs, to keep the aircraft affordable and continue to make it more reliable going forward.
저희 한국 구독자분들도 되게 궁금해하는 질문 중에 하나인데 앞으로도 C-130의 개량은 쭉 이어질까요?
Yes, we'll continue to look for opportunities to improve on an already perfect airplane. As new development, new technology comes out, we'll look for upgrades. Sometimes when you think about upgrades, you think just, what are you doing on the front end of the aircraft? But I would ask your listeners, your readers, take a look at Rapid Dragon, a capability that's being tested. There were some flight tests here recently today. There's the capability to drop JASM ERs that's being tested now. That's a capability that maybe people don't really think about, where you can take an aircraft like the C-130 and use it to launch weapons out the back of the aircraft. But there's other opportunities where we can expand on the aircraft to continue to make it more and more useful to military and civilian leaders.
앞으로 수송기 사업과 관련해 한국과의 추가 공조가 있을지도 궁금합니다.
Absolutely. Lockheed Martin understands and supports. It's DAPA's focus. I think it's the government's focus on industrial cooperation. So we'll focus on, Korean industry, small, medium-sized enterprise. That's important to the LTAP program, working with DAPA, and wherever we can meet those objectives, we'll be seeking them. And it's not just the C-130s, right? And, we're partnering with KAI and on F-16s as well as C-130J, co-production of programs or co-development, the T-50 jet trainer, right? So we'll continue to work there. Engine to sell on the C-130 program. We have a long-term purchasing agreement with KAI.
마지막으로 지금은 조종식에서 물러나셨지만 혹시 C-130을 다시 탈 수 있게 된다면 어떠실 것 같나요?
Well, I tell you, I would love it. Getting inside the aircraft and, talking to the crew and hearing what they've been up to and their experiences, especially, the younger pilots and loadmasters and maintainers. And then personally sitting inside the aircraft and grabbing the yoke and the throttles and adding the power and getting it airborne. Just that freedom of flying the aircraft is second to none. I really enjoyed flying the aircraft, and I miss it. I miss it. I'm leaving it for that younger group now to fly it.